Hello there, Liverpool fans. Just back with a quick video to talk about the Tottenham preview for tomorrow's match, the league match at Anfield. And I also wanted to talk about some other subjects and news regarding Liverpool Football Club. Now we beat Huddersfield on Tuesday in a very disciplined, workmanlike performance from Liverpool. I mean, we just got the job done. We just got the 3 points after a couple of disappointing results against Swansea and then against West Bromwich Albion in the FA Cup, which we ended up getting knocked out of. Unexpectedly. Nobody really, thought that West Bromwich Albion could come to Anfield and win in the cup tie. Yeah, I mean, it was a good performance against Huddersfield. I said that I would do a video regarding the game, but I've had other things to do, since Tuesday, so I haven't had the time to get round to actually making a video. So I'm making it at the moment, a day before the Tottenham game, which is tomorrow, Sunday. Uh, yeah, I thought we played well. We started the game, decently. We didn't set the game on fire, but we looked more solid in midfield. The defence looked assured. To tell you the truth, I mean, Huddersfield didn't really put Liverpool under any kind of pressure, that would, you know, constitute any danger to our goal, basically. Whether it be in the first half or in the second half, they didn't really play well, Huddersfield, at all. They look like a team that is very low on confidence. They don't believe in their ability. They don't believe that they can actually do anything during a game. And Liverpool took full advantage, the great strike from Emre Can, and then the second goal from Firmino in an impossible angle. I thought he was going to cross it. I was shouting at the screen, cross it, pass it to someone for God's sake. And somehow he managed to get it between the post and the goalkeeper. So it was an unbelievable finish from Roberto Firmino. A great goal. We've become accustomed to these kind of goals from Firmino, in recent weeks. But this was just on another level, a quality finish. Yeah, and then we go into the second half. Second half was more about just keeping solid and just holding on to what we've got. Game management, as we keep saying. Game management is key to games in the Premier League, where if you're winning the game, you need to be able to control the ball, just set the tempo of the game, keep the ball, and win the game in the 90 minutes. And that's exactly what Liverpool did for, very few times that we've actually been able to do it. And we did it on Tuesday against Huddersfield. And it was away from home as well, which is more pleasing, so in an away game. Yeah, apart from that, I mean, as I said before, we disappointingly lost the two games to Swansea and West Brom, who prop up the bottom of the Premier League. And the West Bromwich Albion are now actually bottom after Swansea defeated Arsenal on, I think it was the same night Liverpool were playing. Yeah, they beat Arsenal 3-1 at the Liberty Stadium, and ended up pushing West Bromwich Albion down the table, down to bottom. And the next day they lost to, I think it was Man City, and Man City showed us how we should do it, against West Bromwich Albion. They showed us how you should beat these kind of teams, playing good football, being on the front foot, and just going at them, just beating them, beat whatever put in front of you. And Liverpool could have done that against West Bromwich Albion in the FA Cup. But then again, this is Liverpool. You never know which Liverpool is going to turn up. Is it the one that beat Manchester City? Or is it the one that keeps, drawing or losing to the, bottom half of the table teams, mid-table teams? And unfortunately for us, last Saturday, it was the team that, doesn't perform against the lower teams, doesn't know how to play against these kind of teams. And the strange thing about it is we actually took the lead in the game. So, if it had been 0-0 and we're coming up to the 70, 75 minute mark, and you're thinking, oh, it's going to be one of those games again, we're going to end up drawing it, or we're going to end up conceding a goal in the final minutes from a set piece or something. And it was a complete opposite. We actually took the lead, and we were looking good for that period of the game, the first 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden, one long ball into our area, and Rodriguez is, he's parted through our defence like Moses in the Red Sea, and he finds himself in front of our goal, and he just swipes at it and smashes it into the top corner, and it's 1-1. And you're thinking, all right, we've still got a chance. And then a couple of minutes later, another Another, they just walk through our midfield somehow, West Brom. They get the ball to the player on the side of the area, and he crosses it in, and Rodriguez is on his own again in the area, completely, alone, no one next to him, and he just side foots it into the back of the net, and it's 2-1. And once you go behind to these kind of teams, they hold on for it for dear life, and you're going to struggle to get back into the game, no matter who you are. You can be Man City, you can be Real Madrid, you can be, one of the best teams in Europe. When you play these kind of defensive teams, solidly defensive teams, then you're going to struggle. They're at the bottom of the league, but they don't concede many goals, West Bromwich Albion. Liverpool, we've conceded 29 goals in the league, and we're in third position. Just think about that for a minute. We're actually third in the table, but we've conceded 29 goals. That's more than, quite a few teams in the league, even the mid-table teams. Some of the mid-table teams, we've conceded more than them, in defence. So that shows that our defence is not really up to scratch. Our goalkeepers are not really good enough when they're called upon, to clear their lines, to keep the opposition out. And it ended up costing us, basically. We got knocked out of the FA Cup. But we got the result at Huddersfield. I was expecting another tough game against Huddersfield. I was thinking we're going to go there and we're going to have to, battle it out for a draw, or to snatch a win, a 1-0 win maybe, a 2-1 win. But it was a comfortable night for us. We really destroyed them. We took them apart, and they didn't really turn up. They didn't really perform on their own patch, Huddersfield, and we come away with the 3 points. Very pleased with that. And of course, Chelsea losing to Bournemouth 3-0, which was very, very unexpected. I thought Bournemouth might, cause them a couple of problems in defence, and it turned out to be an unbelievable night. They went to Stamford Bridge and won 3-0. I was not expecting it at all. Many fans were not expecting it, and Chelsea look like they've given up in the league this year. They're not doing anything. They're not playing very good football. They're just plodding along. Eden Hazard and a couple of others, maybe Willian, they're pulling Chelsea along. But compared to last year when they won the league, they're not playing good football at all. They look devoid of ideas. They look shaky at the back. Thibaut Courtois looks like his head's been turned. He wants to leave Chelsea, the goalkeeper. And they just look in disarray. Antonio Conte, just for me, he doesn't want to be there anymore. It looks like he's given up now on Chelsea. So that can only be good for Liverpool. We can overtake them now. We've overtaken them on goal difference, but we want to keep adding points and moving up the table. And we can even catch the Manx now. They must be quite frightened, Manchester United, because they were boasting that they're so much better than us. They're so ahead of us, footballing terms, and they've lost more games than us now. We've only lost 3 games. They've lost 4 games, and we've scored more goals than they have. So we're on their coattails. It's only 3 points. Another slip up from them, and we catch them. But only if we beat Tottenham tomorrow. We have to make sure that we win that game, because Tottenham are only 2 points behind Liverpool. Don't forget. 2 points is nothing. It's not even one game, one victory. So as soon as they beat us, they go above us, in the table, and they push us down to 5th, and that's quite disappointing, because we've had a good run in the league. Only the Swansea defeat, to unsettle our 18-game unbeaten run in the league in all competitions. But I think it's 13, 14 games in the league, something like that. And we need to make sure that we play as we did last year against Tottenham. Just go out there on the front foot from the first whistle and attack them. With the quality we've got going forward, we should beat them, because they play open, expansive football like Liverpool do. Tottenham's defence is not very good. Their back players are not really that good. They're not tuned into the task, of defending. Their fullbacks like to push on, and they leave spaces on the flanks for Liverpool to exploit. The likes of Mane and Salah can really cause them major problems in their defence. And I want to see Liverpool put in another statement like we did against Manchester City, and just go out there and beat them. Beat them and open up that 5-point gap again, which will stand us in good stead for the rest of the season. Because I think we've played most of the big teams we've played now. We've only got Manchester United at Old Trafford, And who else have we got? Yeah, we've played Arsenal twice. We've played City twice. We've got Chelsea as well. Yeah, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. But that's near the end of the season. I think. I think 2 or 3 games before the end of the season. So top four will probably be assured by then. Our top four place will be. But that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Top four is not an achievement, Jurgen Klopp. Apparently, Klopp has come out, I think, yesterday or today, and he said that finishing top four is a target for Liverpool. Is a major target for Liverpool, and it's an achievement. I'm sorry, Jurgen, but you can't be saying that, man. You can't. This is 2 years. 3 years you've been at the club now. Finishing top four has never been, an achievement for Liverpool. We've finished in the top four many times in the past. You didn't qualify for the Champions League in past seasons in the 90s, or the early 2000s. But finishing top four is not an achievement for me, not for many Liverpool fans around the world. Qualifying for the Champions League, yes, that's an achievement. That's you've achieved something over 38 games in a season, but it's not a trophy, is it? We haven't won anything, and we haven't set the world alight. So we've played some good football, we've won some good games, but in the context, the wider context, it doesn't really mean anything, because all it does is it just propels you into the qualifier for the Champions League. That's all it does, finishing fourth. So I don't want my manager, Liverpool Football Club's manager, coming out and saying that top four is an achievement. It's not an achievement. Come on. Now you've been knocked out of the League Cup and the FA Cup. We should be concentrating on getting into the top two or the top three to qualify automatically for the Champions League, not top four. Finishing top four is not an achievement now for Liverpool, because Chelsea are still in the Champions League, United are still in the Champions League, and City are still in the Champions League. So we can make sure that we get into the top two. There's no reason why not. All we need now is consistency. Winning 3 or 4 games in a row, that will propel us from fourth or third up to second, above United. Because I think in March, is it early March, we play United, or sometime in February. I think near the end of February we play Manchester United at Old Trafford. And by that game, we should be, really next to them, maybe level on points or even above them, to go into that game full of confidence, at Old Trafford. They will be panicking. Once we overtake them, they'll start panicking, and they're likely to make mistakes. They're likely to open up against Liverpool, which Mourinho doesn't usually do. And when they do that, we can exploit them, We can take them apart at Old Trafford even, with the players we've got, It was just a massive disappointment on Wednesday, that we didn't actually sign anybody. I mean, we've got the money. I don't understand what the problem is. FSG, Fenway Sports Group, our owners have the money, but they just don't want to spend it for some reason. It's just mind-boggling, baffling. It really is. You're competing in the Premier League, one of the hardest leagues in the world, and you think that, you sell your best player in mid-season in January, and you've added, Virgil van Dijk as a defender. He's a good defender. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player, but he's not enough for Liverpool. Come on. We should have definitely identified at least a couple of players, maybe a goalkeeper and a midfielder. Maybe we don't need a striker at the moment because we've got Mane, Salah and Firmino, and maybe Ings and Solanke can add a couple of goals, 2 or 3 goals, if they're needed, they're called upon to come into the team. But midfield, we definitely need someone. We need a playmaker. We need a creative attacking midfielder, the like of Coutinho. Coutinho would have done this job perfectly for Liverpool. And it's just disappointing to think that they didn't actually, make a bid and buy anyone. We've been talking this subject, since the summer, that we needed to replace Coutinho because he's going to go at some point. Whether it be in January or in the summer, he's going to leave Liverpool Football Club. And then you're going to be left in the lurch, because we've only got Keita coming in. Keita's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he's going to need time to adapt to the Premier League. It's totally different from the German League, Premier League. It's a different kind of football, different kind of league, and he's gonna need a couple of weeks to get used to it, or maybe a month or so to get up to scratch with it. And we can't afford to lose time, we can't afford to waste time and let City open up a lead again. This next season, from the first game on. We need to be strong. We need to go out there winning the games, because you know, as soon as you fall behind Manchester City or Chelsea, they're not going to let you get back into the title race at all. You've seen what City are doing now. I've just been watching the Burnley Manchester City game in the first half, and City were all over Burnley. You know, they've got Sane missing, they've got other players missing, but they're still walking the league. You know, they're still winning games at canter because they've got quality all over the pitch. They've got quality reinforcements on the bench, so they don't even need to rely on one player or two players. Even if they do get injuries, they can replace them, and they will put in the same, you know, performance level, or just even better than the players that they've replaced. And yeah, to think that the Premier League season is already over and we're only in the first couple of days of February, it's really disappointing. You know, we could have, especially Liverpool, we could have pushed City all the way for the title if we had just been consistent and we just, you know, stopped losing to these shit teams at the bottom or drawing with them. We could have been really, really near to them, you know, maybe 5 or 10 points at least. You know, 5 to 8 points. It wouldn't have been that much of a gap, you know, 15, 18 points, whatever it is. And yeah, anyway, we concentrate on our own games now, and we make sure that we get into the automatic qualification positions, whether it be third, whether it be second. You know, we can easily do it. It's only 3 points, one game, and we've still got another, you know, we've still got another 13 games to go in the league, the Premier League. I don't want to see any more excuses from Jurgen Klopp. You know, make sure that you have a settled back line now. Don't keep chopping and changing, you know, every game. Players, you shouldn't be changing the team from game to game now. You should have a settled 11. You know, bar injury. You know, God forbid that we get any injuries, but apart from that, we should not be changing the team. Even the goalkeeper, especially not the goalkeeper, because it just brings uncertainty and it just brings panic to the defence. Because as soon as you bring either of them in, they start flapping around again, they start panicking. You need to give them a few games to get used to the team, and then maybe they can become better. We're hoping, you know. With Karius and Mignolet, you're always hoping. You're not expecting it, but you're hoping that they're going to improve. They're going to become better and do better in goal. So, yeah, tomorrow's a very big game for Liverpool. And I just wanted to make this preview video about the game. And yeah, as I said before, we need to play a settled team. We can't keep changing the players in the team, you know. Just keep a settled team. In midfield, I'd replace Milner with Ox, you know, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Keep Henderson in there for the security. You know, maybe he plays too many side passes or backwards passes, but he's more of a safe option, I feel, than Wijnaldum and maybe Milner, you know. And Jan's energy could propel Liverpool, you know, to score goals, could help us score goals against Tottenham, as he scored the other day against Huddersfield. But is he going to turn up? You know, that's the main thing with Jan. Is he going to be consistent and turn up again? Usually he does, you know. Usually he does against the big teams. He does turn up, like against Arsenal and against Manchester City at Anfield. He did turn up this season. You have to say he played well in both of those games, and we won both of them. So hopefully he does it again tomorrow, you know. And with Henderson next to him and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who has pace, and maybe he can, you know, deliver the ball better from corners, from free kicks into the front lines. And we'll have a better chance of beating them, you know, Tottenham. I don't think Tottenham are that special. I mean, apart from Harry Kane and, you know, Dele Alli on some occasions, or Son Heung-min, they're not really that good a team. I mean, they've dropped down to fifth now, and they've been languishing, you know, sixth, fifth, fourth. They haven't had a consistent season this year. You know, they're not a great team, and they can't beat the top teams away from home. So we should be winning this game. You know, we should be winning this game and just consolidating our third place for now. I think Manchester United will obviously beat Huddersfield today. I don't see Huddersfield winning that game because their confidence is low. You know, they're not playing well, and they're in a bad run of form at the moment, Huddersfield Town. So I don't see them going to Old Trafford and getting anything. If they do, that's a massive bonus for Liverpool. But I don't see it happening. You know, so we need to make sure that we win tomorrow and get the 3 points. And we take it from there, you know. We're coming up to the Porto games now in the Champions League. Very important games for Liverpool. for for the future of this season, and we need to make sure that we win those games. Maybe get a draw away from home, and then score a goal or 2 goals, and then take them back to Anfield and just beat them at Anfield, knock them out of the competition, and move on to the quarterfinals. Because once we get to the quarters, I don't see we shouldn't be frightened of any team. I said before in one of my videos that I don't see us, progressing from the quarterfinals, but on any given day, Liverpool are capable of beating any team in Europe. They've proved it before, this season, and they proved it in the Europa League run we had a couple of years ago. We beat the likes of Dortmund, Villarreal, good teams, Manchester United. So, and we weren't having a good season domestically, but in the cup competitions we were doing brilliantly. So on a two-legged, cup tie, European cup tie, we can knock any team out. I feel, just we need to play well as we can do. Just play our attacking football, be concentrated defensively, but attack the opponent, and we should get our rewards. We should go through against Porto, and then from there on, we just need to make sure that we keep winning games in the league, as I said before, and beat the teams that we should be beating. And see where it takes us, because this season is virtually over. I mean, City are now going to go on and win it. It's guaranteed now that they're going to go on and win the Premier League. And we're out of the cup competitions, which I'm very disappointed about with Klopp, because, I think it was the day I came back from Cyprus, or a couple of days later, we played. No, it was the same day I came back from holiday. Yeah, we played Leicester at the King Power. And we went there and we got beaten 2-0 in a game we dominated. We should have won before they even scored the goal, Leicester, and we ended up getting knocked out. And we could have had a good run in the League Cup again. Maybe got to the quarters or semis, or even won the cup. And to see, they got all the way to the quarter-final, Leicester, against Man City, and they only lost on penalties. And it was very disappointing, because we've gone out to Leicester in the League Cup, and then we've gone out to West Bromwich Albion in the FA Cup. Two teams that are inferior to Liverpool. We should have beaten both of them, especially West Brom at Anfield. Going away to Leicester is never easy, because they're a good team on their own patch. But we beat them in the league there anyway. We've beaten them twice, Leicester, this year. We've drawn with West Brom in the league. I think we'll go to the Hawthorns and beat them there. Now, in the coming weeks or months of the season, we'll probably beat them there. But it's no good to Liverpool fans. We keep making excuses year on year. We should be winning something. We should be striving to win something, a cup, any cup, the League Cup, FA Cup. Some people were taking a piss out of the Asia Cup, and they said it was going to be our only trophy, but the competition we won in the summer, again we beat Leicester. That's 3 times we've beaten them this season. So to think that we've been knocked out of a cup competition by them is just ridiculous, And we'll probably end up the season empty-handed again. And Klopp just keeps making excuses. He keeps trying to cover the backs of FSG, because FSG are not interested in making any signings to Liverpool Football Club, as they've proven. They've bought in Van Dijk, but really we should have got Van Dijk in the summer of 2017. And the only reason I feel that they went out and actually bought Van Dijk is because they were going to sell Coutinho to Barcelona, and they knew this, Sorry. They knew that they were going to sell Coutinho to Barcelona. That's the only reason they went out and bought Van Dijk, because they were expecting a massive backlash from the Liverpool, supporters regarding the Coutinho situation, and they knew that it would destabilise the club. And it's a good signing. I mean, we wait and see what he can do in the defence. With this defence, he's going to have a tough time, Van Dijk. He needs to, be ready for this, because the players that are playing next to him are not really up for the task, in my opinion. Robertson has done very well. Andy Robertson on the flank, on the right side, on the left side of defence. But he's a young player. He's liable to make mistakes. Same with Gomez. Some of our fans are slating Gomez for the mistakes he's made, but he's young. And he's been out action for a couple of years now, a year or so, year and a half. So what do you expect? He's not even up to full scratch yet, fitness wise. He's getting there, but he needs to play more games, and he needs to have the experience of playing in the Premier League to actually know what to do in certain positions when he's being attacked by the opponents, and that will only come with playing football. But Liverpool we can't afford to be giving players chances to get their fitness up to scratch, and to put them in necessary positions on the pitch, like defence, very important positions on the pitch. Well, we can't afford to make any mistakes. It's bad enough that we've got Lovren and we've got Matip in there who keep making mistakes, and thankfully we've got Van Dijk in now. But Van Dijk, he needs to prove himself. He's got the £75 million price tag on his head now. He needs to go out there and put in good performances now, from now until the end of the season. And hopefully Klopp sees the sense in playing him, instead of playing in one game and then taking him out for the next game. Even Klavan was doing well, until the new year, until Boxing Day. He was doing very well, Ragnar Klavan. I don't understand why he's been frozen out of the team. He should have kept him there, Klopp, I feel. He was playing more consistently than both Lovren and Matip, Klavan. And he deserved to have a chance in the centre-back position, maybe alongside Van Dijk. He could do a very good job, a solid job, protect the defence, protect the goal, and yeah, so Klopp now, he doesn't have any excuses, and Nathaniel Klein is on his way back as well. That's good news as well. He's coming back to full fitness pretty soon, maybe in a few weeks' time, or a month or so's time. He could be back in the team, and he'll add stability as well to the defence. Maybe not going forward, but we need him defensively. We need him defensively to maybe replace Joe Gomez, because Gomez is too young. I mean, he may have physical attributes, or he may be an athlete, but still you can't rely on young players to pull you through 38 games. It's too much, too much to risk. And we need players that have proven Premier League experience, like Klein. He's been playing there for 2 years at Liverpool, so he's more of an experienced player in that position, I feel. And you need to keep him there. Robertson has hit the ground running. I wouldn't change Robertson now, not for Moreno anyway. Moreno's he's a liability. At any given time in any game, he can make a mistake. He might join the attack and add attacking quality to the team, but defensively he's not good enough, and he doesn't follow his players. He doesn't follow the player that he's supposed to be marking, and he gives them opportunities to win free kicks, or to get in behind him and put crosses into the area, which inevitably lead to Liverpool conceding goals. Or he tends to push players over as well in the area, conceding penalties. It's because he panics at the last minute. He realises there's someone there, and he panics. And it ends up pushing players down, or tackling them and conceding a penalty. So apart from that, Liverpool fans, yeah, that's my preview for the Tottenham game. My prediction, I don't want to make a prediction, I don't want to jinx it, but I feel that there's another, a 2-0 in it for Liverpool, or a 3-1. 3-0 or 3-1, I feel, is a more accurate score of the game. If we can get an early goal against Tottenham in the first half, I think we'll go on to beat them like we did last season, because they, traditionally they don't do well at Anfield anyway. They've never done well at Anfield. I think they've only won 5 or 6 times in 100 years or so at Anfield, which is absolutely unbelievable. A team like Tottenham, with the quality they had in the past, or in these last few years, and they've not been able to do anything at Anfield. And hopefully it can continue, for at least another year. And apart from that, as I said, I don't want to see Jurgen Klopp, our manager, saying that 4th place is good enough. You're kidding yourself, Jurgen. If you think that 4th place is good enough, you're kidding yourself. It's not good enough. The only reason Liverpool fans are accepting this now is because, we're still in the Champions League, and we're doing relatively well in the league, but this won't go on, this won't carry on next year. Next year you need to make a run, you need to make a push for the Premier League title. You need to bring in the right calibre of players in the summer. You have to demand it from FSG. And if they don't give you the money, then you come out and tell the supporters. You come out and tell the media. Don't just sit there and accept it. Otherwise, you're going to get comments like, he's a yes man. he accepts it. You know, he's in with it. He's on the FSG payroll, and he's just doing what they tell him. Of course, supporters are going to say this. You know, fans. What do you expect? Because the actions back it up, don't they? You don't come out and say anything in the press conferences. Every time they ask you about transfers, you keep pushing it under the table. You're not bothered about transfers. You're not bothered about the Coutinho situation. Don't get me wrong, I like him as a manager, Jurgen Klopp. I think he's the right man for the job. But he needs to demand so much more from FSG. This is not good enough for Liverpool. You know, 4th place has never been good enough for Liverpool. Liverpool is about winning trophies, about winning league championships, doing well in the European Cups, you know, whether it be the Champions League or the Europa League. You know, you can't just sit there and say, accept defeat and say, you know, we're not going to win anything. City are so good and this and that. They weren't that good, were they, a few years ago? 5 or 10 years ago, they weren't that good, but they've invested in their team, in their squad, because their owners actually believe they want to actually win something. They want to make City a major force in European football, in English football. And they're doing that. They're proving it on the pitch. You know, they're buying the right players and they're getting the results. So don't sit there and tell me that this is good enough. It's not good enough. And if you keep saying that, you know, after the summer, then I feel that you should step down as Liverpool manager and we get someone else in, because I don't want to see him go now. He's built up a good, a good system, a good winning mentality in the team, good attack football playing team. But it's not good enough for Liverpool. You know, the mistakes that we make in defence, in the goalkeeper department, are just amateurish, you know, childish even. How did we lose to West Bromwich Albion? You know, go back and watch that game. It was absolutely unbelievable, the mistakes we made. To concede 3 goals to that team, and that team doesn't even score goals, West Bromwich Albion. They're going to struggle. They could be relegated in May. I wouldn't be surprised if they go down, you know, West Brom. They're playing so badly, and they can hardly score any goals in the league, and they come to Anfield and score 3 times. It's just, to think about it, it makes you go crazy, you know. It's unbelievable. But anyway, I'm not going to rant about it. You know, we've still got hope coming into the final months of the season, the few months left in the season, whether it be in the league or the Champions League. We can still do good things. It's just we need to be consistent now. And as I said before, play players regularly. Don't keep changing the team. We need to get a team of players that are used to playing with each other on the pitch. Don't keep changing players' positions, and don't keep swapping players for one another, you know. You can't do that in this league, Jurgen. You know, it doesn't work. This is not the German league or the French league, Italian league. This is the Premier League. Every game demands that you play at 100%. You need to be on your game all the time. Otherwise, you get turned over by, you know, Swansea, or you get turned over by Stoke or Watford. This is what happens in this league. You know, so we've got a very good chance now to get into the top 3 or 4, the top 3 or 2 of the league. You know, even behind City, we could easily finish second if we just have, you know, a few games winning on the bounce. You know, 3 or 4 games, we can easily get up to second, and then there won't be many games left, you know, until the end of the season. We should be able to get it, you know. So that's about it, Liverpool fans. I just wanted to make this video. I said it was going to be a quick one, but it's turned out to be another 34 minutes. And I hope you watch it. I hope you like and subscribe to the channel, and you make your comments in the comment section below and tell me, you know, your predictions for the Tottenham game, your predictions for the rest of the season, what's going to happen. And all we can do now is just wait and see and pray to God that we don't pick up any injuries, because we can't afford any injuries. With the squad we've got now, the players, you know, we've got Coutinho gone and Sturridge is out on loan. But Sturridge wouldn't have done anything anyway. Sturridge has been gone, you know, the last 2 years, I feel. He's not fit enough. He's not fast enough anymore. His finishing has gone down a notch as well. He's still a predator in the area, but he's not as good as he was in the 13-14 season. You know, he's never going to be at that level again, I don't think. And the only reason he went to West Brom is because he feels that he can get a run of games and maybe score, you know, 3 or 4 goals and try and get into the thoughts of Southgate, who may pick him into the squad, the England squad. But I don't see him going to the World Cup. You know, I don't see him going there this summer, and that will probably be the end of his career. You know, if he doesn't, you know, go to the World Cup, I don't see him improving from now on. Daniel Sturridge, unfortunately. Anyway, we don't think about him. He's gone now. So when he comes back to the club, then we think what we're going to do in the summer. Until then, Liverpool fans, take care of yourselves and up the Reds. Hopefully another 3 points tomorrow against Tottenham. And we go into the Porto games with good confidence, you know, and we can hopefully get through that round and get into the quarterfinals and then see which big team we get, you know, which of the big boys we get in there. Get in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, because there's not going to be any weak teams from now on, you know. Even Porto are not a weak team. We mustn't take Porto lightly, you know. We must be concentrated on those games. We must cut out the defensive mistakes, the errors, and make sure that we play safely against them. Do not make any mistakes, because if you do, if Liverpool do, we're going to be punished. I'm telling you, you know, Porto, we shouldn't take Porto lightly. Some of our media and our newspapers and, you know, this and that are thinking, you know, it's a foregone conclusion. It's not going to be that easy, Liverpool. So we shouldn't kid ourselves, you know. Be serious about the game. Take it seriously. Play your best team, Jurgen Klopp. You know, don't change players again, especially not for the Champions League. That's the only cup we've got, you know. Whether we win it or not, we want to get as far as we can. We want to do as well as we can in that competition. So don't change the team. And yeah, we wait and see what happens, Liverpool fans. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, and I'll talk to you after the Tottenham game, maybe on Monday or Tuesday. I'll make another video and we can analyse the game, see how it went, and hopefully another 3 points, Liverpool. Anyway, Liverpool fans, nice to talk to you again, and I'll see you later on. See you later on.